Next came the brave new world of the PlayStation 2, with the ominously named Star Ocean Till the End of Time. Released in Japan and initially published by Enix in 2003, it was actually the last game published by the company before the merger, and released with substantial technical issues in Japan. Enix blamed these issues on Sony and the hardware, but Sony denied responsibility. The game was re-released a year later under the Director's Cut title with bug fixes and additional content published by the now merged Square Enix in Japan and also in North America. The game was released in Europe but was published there by Ubisoft. Carrying over all the features from the first two mainline games but tweaked for the difference in hardware, the game is now fully 3D thanks to the power of the PlayStation 2. The playable party is reduced from 4 to 3, and more attack options are added via the length buttons are held for attacks. Light attacks are tapped inputs, and heavy attacks are long inputs. The player can be KO'd by losing all their hit points, which is pretty usual, but also their MP needs to be maintained above 0, which means that you need to be aware of both resources at all times. Characters also have stamina stats, although the game calls it a fury meter. Fury is replenished by standing still for a bit. If you're moving in battle, fury depletes. If you run out of fury, your character will move slowly. In previous entries, melee characters had the advantage of being able to attack without consequence, while magic characters had cooldown bars on their spells. The fury mechanic nerfs melee characters to make magic characters more viable. It forces melee characters to rest on occasion and leads to a strategy of rushing in, attacking, and then rushing out of the battle to rebuild fury before rushing in again. A lot, but not all enemies are slow moving to give the player time to implement these strategies. There is also the bonus battle gauge, which is introduced for the first time but remains a staple in the series from here on after, even in remakes. When a player strikes an enemy, they receive bonus points that can chain for special effects. However, it can be broken if the player receives critical damage, dies in battle, or runs away. It is also reset when the game is turned off or reloaded from a save. Item creation returns, but now can only be performed in specialized locations in towns. Battle trophies are also added as in-game achievable system for the completionist-minded player. Players are rewarded tangibly for these trophies with increasing sound test options, alternative costumes, and more.